I'm Billiam. This is Pico Digi-Dude and Aunt Zeta today.
Hi.
And we are the Digi-Dudes! Alright, so we are joined today by our awesome Aunt Zeta.
Hey guys.
And my sister-in-law. And today we are going to be talking about Ghost Game. Our thoughts, reviews on the first two episodes.
Wait, I want to do episode 2 because I like it so much.
Well, we'll talk. I know you really liked episode 2. We'll talk about episode 1 first, and then episode 2. We'll go in order.
Okay.
Only makes sense. All right. So Aunt Zeta actually hasn't seen Ghost Game,
I have not.
and we are trying to convert her into a Digimon fan.
And that means we have to teach her about some Ghost Game.
Yes. And there goes Tai Chi.
Hey, Tachi! Don't fall over ever!
And then have her spread the word about Digimon to the other youth of our area, I guess.
Yes.
So then everyone will know about Digimon, and we'll have a large Digimon community.
There's a ghost on the ceiling. I'm gonna bust it.
Oh, you better get him. All right. Because this is also going to be posting a few days before Halloween, and we're talking about Ghost Game and all, Digi-Dude wore his Halloween costume, and he's going to be a Ghostbuster for Halloween.
Yep.
Pico Digi-Dude is being a bit much, so now I've got him. So now Digi-Dude did just have a birthday.
Yep.
And did you have fun on your birthday?
Yeah.
And we want to thank everybody who wished him happy birthday online. We appreciate them all, and we were grateful. Right, bud?
Yeah. And also, that I love Ghostbusters. I actually played a Ghostbusters game.
You did. All right, so let's do the squad update now. All right, on my OG Wing Guardians, I've got Woodmon. And then I'm still running my X3 from last week's episode, but I've got somebody new now. I dropped him. I've got Jessamon GX. I ended up jogressing into Jessamon GX now. So that's super awesome. And before we actually get started talking about Ghost Game, I want to do one more thing. I want to give a shout out to Otto Metal Cake. If you guys don't know who he is a super awesome YouTuber / musician who's a good friend of mine. Honestly, I just wanted to let people know who he is in case you guys didn't know. He has a super awesome YouTube channel where he does a lot of card pack openings for the Pokemon card game and a lot of toy unboxings and statue unboxings for Pokemon. He does do some Digimon cards and some other just general anime related things. And he's got a super fun channel. I have a link down in the description there. And he's got an awesome album out on Spotify. I strongly suggest going there and checking it out. 2 recommendations for me off the album is Lance's Dragonite. That song is awesome. And my favorite is Lavender Town. Again, another super sweet metal song. Otto's all about the metal.
Metal!
And if you guys didn't know, also he helped collaborate on a bunch of Alex the Ninth Digigestion songs that he has. Otto helped him with those. So again, if you guys don't know him already, please go check him out. The guy is super awesome and a lot of fun to talk to in general. Good friend of ours. So now, speaking of talking, let's talk about Ghost Game.
Yeah.
So, we'll start right off the bat. There will be heavy spoilers here for the anime if you haven't seen it. Aunt Zeta over here is an anime fan, so we're hoping to turn her on to Ghost Game by telling her how great it is.
Yes. I've already told her something about it.
Good. So, let's start with the opening. What do you think of the opening of this anime?
Awesome.
Yeah, it has a great song and kind of like a fun, spooky feel to it. By the name Ghost Game, you'd imagine it's going to be a scarier kind of spooky anime.
And every
take on
single
Digimon?
appearance of the Digimon are super scary.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shadowy figures of Digimon throughout the opening there. And Digi-Dude and I have been going through every time we watch it to try to pick out and find new Digimon that we didn't notice before.
And there's probably gonna be a sort of Devilmon, but I'm not gonna spoil which Devilmon it is.
Yeah, you see one in the opening there in the shadows, a Devilmon. So we're kind of hoping that they'll make an appearance in the anime too.
Yeah, because I'm actually figuring every single Digimon in the opening is probably gonna make an appearance in there.
The one thing I wasn't super thrilled about the opening was that they revealed the adult levels already for all the tamers in there. I don't know how you felt about that, Debbie, dude.
Well,
seeing them already, seeing them right off the bat, like it wasn't a surprise.
I was kind of disappointed, but like how they did the artwork, I think it was super cool.
Oh yeah, the artwork, the style of this anime is really good. It has a very Digimon reminiscent like style from other past seasons, but at the same time, it does have its own look to it. And the overall tone of it is definitely darker than any other Digimon show we've seen so far. There's been some pretty dark seasons and some heavy content, but as like a general stylize here, this one's definitely darker in style.
And like the most like spookiest of them all.
Yeah, a lot of it takes place at night too, doesn't it?
Yeah, like almost like every single appearance of the Digimon have been like in night to make it like even spookier.
You see one or two Digimon during the day there, but basically the bigger villains or the antagonists for the episode is always appearing at night to give it that more darker and spooky feel. It's a lot of empty buildings they're walking around in.
That's right.
After hours and stuff.
Well, actually, the buildings was actually locked out because of one of the Digimon.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about episode 1 now.
Yes.
So if you guys haven't seen it, once again, this is the time you're going to want to stop and watch it first, because obviously there's going to be spoilers. We're going to be talking about it now. Okay, so if you're still here, you've seen it, or you want our opinions on it. So let's continue. Okay, so who's the villain in this episode then?
Clockmon.
Yeah, you see Clockmon in this one. And one thing I really like about the anime they've been doing so far is that they've been doing kind of like an urban legend name for each of the Digimon, because normal people don't know what the Digimon are. They're not familiar with Digimon.
Like for his so legendary name, they call him the Sewn-Lipped Man.
Yeah, because if you're not familiar with Clockmon, his mouth is sewn shut as part of his appearance there. So they've been calling him the Sewn-Lipped Man when he shows up. And what he's doing is he's attacking people and he's stealing their time and taking it for himself. And it makes them super old in it. And it gives Clockmon more power. And Clockmon, whenever he shows up, he asks them what? Do you remember?
What is the time now?
Exactly. And it kind of gives it a really spooky feeling. Like it comes out of nowhere. All the clocks start freaking out on their cell phones on the walls and everything.
Like this fast!
Yup. And then all you hear at first is Clockmon's low voice coming, "What is the time now?" And then he shows up and attacks them, right?
Yeah, and turns them super old.
Yup, and turns them super old. There. The main character's name is Hiro. He's, again, all new characters, no repeats from other seasons. This is a standalone season, and it actually takes place in the nearby future, where they have hologram advertisements and things like that all over the place.
And also, Clockmon actually, everything on Digimon that shows actually kind of look like ghosts, because they're kind of clear and kind of hologrammy.
Yeah, you don't have they don't have a full solid looking body. They're kind of in between the digital world and the real world showing up is what it is.
Yeah, so it actually kind of makes them look like they are ghosts.
And it also blends into that hologram thing we were just talking about, where they have hologram billboards and things like that all over the place. They look very similar to them in style-wise. So people think, there's some type of hologram showing up, or that they might actually be a real ghost. So we meet the main character, Hiro, and then we kind of get established to the world in this one and what's going, and how things work again with being in the near future and all. And then we start meeting some of his other friends in the anime. One is the head of the dorm rooms there, who then ends up being the tamer for Jellymon. And then we've seen throughout the show, all the advertisements for it. And we also meet another girl there who goes to the same school as him, who is kind of social media influencer or journalist kind of there. And she ends up becoming the tamer of Angoramon. So those are going to be your 3 Digidestined in this show.
Don't forget heroes.
So then we end up getting a flashback of Hero's dad going missing. And in his place, you find 3 Digivice Vs there and 3 dim cards. Because the Digivice V is going to be the new the Vital Bracelet, which they're now calling Digivice V, is the new Digivice for this season. And their Digimon are linked to their dim cards. After a while, Hero ends up putting his dim into his Vital Bracelet and meeting his partner,
Gamamon!
And we love Gamamon. Gamamon's a really cute, like, Triceratops-looking Digimon.
And one of the spikes actually are wings.
Yeah. In episode 2, we actually see him fly. There's, like, little spikes on his back there. Turns into wings, and we were really surprised about that.
Yeah.
By the end of the episode there, Gamamon ends up fighting Clockmon, and it's an interesting and a good fight, but it ends up with basically Clockmon just kind of getting scared off and leaving there. So far, for episode 1, the fight actually didn't last very long. I would have liked to see more out of it, but at the same time, I do appreciate the fact that Gamamon, a child level, went up against an adult level, and it didn't just end up with him beating him right away and real easily, because there is power scaling here. Alright, Aunt Zay and Pico Devi-Dude had to go, so now it's just us, and let's talk about episode 2.
Yep.
So, who is the antagonist in episode 2, Devi-Dude?
Oh, man.
It's Mummymon. And Mummimon's interesting in this episode. So, we don't actually get the other tamers yet having their Digimon. It's still just Hero and Gamamon. But Mummymon is going around now. Oh, and I forgot to mention, back in episode 1, real quick, that Hero has all 3 of the Digivice Vs and the 3 Dims for the other Digimon. So we're assuming that he's going to give them to the other tamers somehow and for some reason. We're not sure exactly what yet. Alright, so now back to this part of the episode. Here. So, now we got Gamamon and Hero. Their Hero is trying to investigate more about the digital world, and then his missing dad, which we found out is in the digital world. So he's trying to learn more about Digimon, the digital world, and now he's noticing Digimon popping up in different places. Like we see a Chumon at one point, right?
Yeah.
And Mummymon is showing up from the museum in the mummy exhibit there. Hey, Mummymon, mummy exhibit.
Yeah.
Right? And he keeps on wrapping people up in bandages and taking them away. People that look sad or tired or talking about being overworked. And he keeps on telling them that he's going to give them eternal life and welcome them to the darkness. So then as the episode goes on, Hero starts investigating Mummymon and the appearances because he wants to learn more about the digital world, thinking that this Digimon might be able to help him and tell him. But Hero is tired, he's exhausted after looking all over the place, and Mummymon ends up wrapping him up and taking him away. There, telling him that he's going to give him eternal rest and resurrection. And then he puts it together that Mummymon is thinking in the terms of ancient Egypt and mummifying people, thinking that they were going to come back to life. And they needed to preserve their bodies. So he's mummifying them so then the humans can resurrect and come back to life and be completely healed and happy again. So then now Hero is trying to explain to him, this isn't the way humans work. They don't do that. This is the old way of thinking. Right, buddy?
Yeah.
So then after a while, Gamamon ends up fighting against Mummymon. But Mummymon is a perfect level, right?
Yeah.
So he's having a really hard time fighting against him, didn't he?
Yeah.
So then now Gamamon is beat up by the end of the episode there, and Hero is being dragged away in bandages by Mummymon so then he can be resurrected. And Hero in danger, his vital bracelet starts to light up, and then his vital values start to fill up all the ways there. Like you do with your training. The little circle starts going all the ways around when you're doing your training, and it looked super awesome to see what I'm seeing on my vital bracelet show up on screen. which I thought that was super cool to see in the episode, and I really liked that aspect of it. And then Gamamon ends up digivolving in order to rescue Hero, which we know from all the advertising and the Gamamon Dim that Gamamon has 4 possible adult evolutions, and we see Belt Gamamon for the first time here.
Belt Gamamon!
Which, what do you think of his design, Belt Gamamon?
I would say really cool. Like how it appears like all the fire everywhere.
Yeah, his hands were on fire and they had like black flame edges to them. It looked really awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
Belt Gamamon has a really sweet design. I'm a fan of him. But the one thing I didn't like, though, that the fight scene between him and Mummymon was super short. Basically, he digivolves into Belt Gamamon. He does a few attacks, jumps over him while attacking, and then that's it. At that point, Hero is able to get through to Mummymon, because Mummimon's not a bad Digimon. He's trying to help people in his mind. So he gets through to him, and then is able to actually talk to him and tell him, no, this isn't the way humans work. They don't heal this way. And then points him in the direction of a nearby hospital. So where now Mummymon can now go to the hospital there and watch how to heal humans and how humans actually work. So then he can basically become a doctor is what the end of it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just furthers, by the end of the episode, it furthers the bond more between Hero and Gamamon. Which Gamamon's a super cute and fun Digimon. There, he doesn't know pretty much anything about the human world, and that you're learning everything new through his eyes. I think that's always a fun partner, in my opinion. What did you think of the show overall so far, the first 2 episodes?
Really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was like so scary. It was like so scary. It even turned my dreams a bit scary.
You even made you have scary dreams last night when we watched more of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did still like it.
Like I said, it definitely has a spooky vibe to it. You see Mummymon showing up in the museum, coming out through the mummies, kind of lurking around, watching people at first. And then as we saw, Clockmon shows up and you hear him off in the distance asking what time is it now. And then when they can't tell him because all the clocks are bugging out, he shows up, attacks them, and steals their time. Like again, as I had the complaint in episode 1, as in episode 2, the fights were incredibly short. I would have really liked to see more happen in them.
Like in Digimon Reboot.
Yeah, their fights were a lot longer there, a lot more.
Like Dawn Digimon.
Yeah. The fight sequences were awesome. I would have just liked to see more of it. That's all.
And also it's so crazy. Like how he was shooting with his cannon. It's like so crazy. It's like
yeah, it was. And now I think it's time for a Digi-Duel! And this week's Digi-Duel comes from...
Greetings, Digi-Dudes. I'm Alex. I'm the 9th Digi-Destined, and I challenge you to a Digi-Duel. Today I'm challenging you with my newly acquired Pendulum Original Nightmare Soldiers, and on it I have raised the leader of the Dark Masters, Piedmon. This is my first full complete run on this device, and it would be an absolute honour to battle you with it. So, may the best mom win. Ace.
So that was super awesome of you, buddy, to challenge us to a Digi-Duel with your Piedmon, and I love to accept that challenge. I actually tried raising my own Dark Master to battle your Dark Master and raise one of my favorite Digimon, Pinocchio-mon, or Puppet-mon, there, but for some reason I have not been able to jogress my OG Pendulum with Acom Wiki for some reason. I don't know if it's my device or if it's the app, so I wasn't able to work my way up to Pinocchio-mon there because the only way to get him is jogressing. But I do have a super powerful Royal Knight to battle you with. So let's get to it, Devi Dude. Okay, so we have Jessmon GX versus Alex 9th Digidestin's Piedmon. We'll see how we do here. This is an OG battle.
What is that? Like half X hat.
Well, he's like a super ultimate here. And we lost. The Dark Master took down our Royal Knight.
Even when he's
and even injured us, too. Like, this is, like, as about as strong as you can get as a Royal Knight here, and you beat us pretty easily there. So, congratulations to you, bro. Honestly, I think it's more fun when you guys win than when we win. We're hyper competitive. We like to win, but at the same time, we enjoy seeing you guys win. So, with that, as always, if you guys like what we do here, if you like Ghost Game, make sure you Giga Blast that like button.
And Proton zap the subscribe button down below.
If you want to see more from us, we greatly appreciate it. And speaking of appreciating, we appreciate our Patreon supporters there. If you guys want to join us on Patreon there, join in some more fun, make sure you do. Links down in the description there. And as always, thank you to our Patreon supporters, War and
Alex the Knight Digi-Destined.
Alex and I did it again. Thank you again, bro. All right, guys. As always, from me, my family, to you, have a digitastic day.
And also, if you want, go bust some ghosts.
Go bust those ghosts this Halloween.
Yeah!